my name is Tiffany, and I'm here with the nonprofit organization One Chair at a Time. And we are continuing the series of Our Story, where individuals in the community are sharing their story with us. And today I have Bentli Blaze, and we are going to just figure out her story and hear a little bit from her. So I'm just grateful that you joined us today, and thank you for being here with me.
I'm excited to chat with you today.
Me
Thank you for having
too.
me.
Me too. Can you just take us back to what life looked like a little bit before your accident?
Yeah, so I was injured in 2013 and I was 25 years old and I was very, very active and multifarious individual. I did lots of really cool things. I was modeling and traveling and bartending and waitressing, and I also taught kickboxing and was a group fitness instructor. And health and wellness were very important to me at that aspect of my life too.
Wow, that's incredible. So you were 25.
I was 25 years old.
Okay, so how long ago was it? How has it been?
12. It'll be 13 years in September.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
just turned 38 last week.
You go, girl.
38.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just tell us a little bit about the day of your accident, whenever you're comfortable sharing, as much as or as little as you want to share.
Yeah, so I was in a toxic relationship, and ultimately, my abuser shot me 6 times, and he unloaded a whole clip, but two missed, fortunately. And it was a domestic situation. I confronted him about an infidelity issue, and he decided to try and kill me. So
Wow. So where were you, at your house
we were at
or
his house.
okay, at his house?
And there was another individual, woman there hiding in the back room. I never saw her emerge, but there were other parties involved as well.
So were the police called?
He called the police and the ambulance. My understanding was to save himself. You know, he didn't think I was going to survive. And so I was conscious through the entire duration of the experience. And until they put me under, did I actually lose consciousness. So I was
Okay.
aware, and of course, alcohol was a big part and a big factor in everything that happened. And so initially, my injuries are all the way across, like on every side of my body. Like I was facing him, and the first shot hit me in the abdomen. And so I turned and ran. It was dark, and I didn't know that he was even pointing a gun at me until he shot. It lit the room up, and I could see his outline and see him. And it felt like he kicked me in the stomach, honestly, but I saw he was too far away and it registered what was happening. And so I turned to run to go back out the window, and all of my injuries in the front are defensive. I lost a finger. Dr. Cordestani did a great job with aesthetics and plastic surgery. Most people can't even tell
Absolutely.
unless I
Yeah,
point it
you
out.
can't tell. Wow,
And
that's incredible.
thank you. It was a big insecurity of mine for a long time, and now I'm a part
Oh,
of
I'm
the
sure.
body modification community, and people do that on purpose sometimes. So
Oh,
it's kind of funny how that stuff comes full circle.
yeah.
But I digress. I also was shot in the arm because I was turning, and it completely shattered my ulna, and I had to have an external fixator on my arm. And I was also shot through the quadricep and my lower back, and the final shot ended up being in my back. And whenever that shot happened, I hit the ground and I knew
Just
immediately.
immediately. That's what I was going to say. When did you
Immediately,
realize,
because I
oh,
tried to get
wow,
up and
this
I
is
couldn't.
bad?
Yeah.
So where is your spinal cord injury?
I have an L2 partial L3.
Okay. Okay. And I'd like to ask that just so if anybody's watching and they have the same kind of injury, they can, you know, relate.
Mine's pretty low, considering, but I have an incomplete injury. The bullet nicked my spinal cord, so I didn't have it completely severed.
Okay.
which is why I have some movement. And
Right. Okay, that's interesting because I didn't know that that could happen. So ambulance came. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit just because I feel like I can't see you very well.
Oh, here, we'll adjust.
So the ambulance came,
Yes.
and were you conscious through the whole ride? Get to the hospital?
I was actually talking smack to him the most of the time. I'm like yelling at him, "You shot me!" Like, and with lots of other expletives. So, but I'm just a fiery spirit, and even when that was happening, I still was like, "How dare you!" So, I didn't really understand the severity of it in that moment.
Well, no, I don't think you could. So when you got to the hospital, did you then understand, like, oh, wow, this is pretty bad? Were your parents called? Did you tell me about that?
So they weren't called because of the circumstances for a very long time, and I actually begged one of the nurses in ICU to call my mom and gave her my number, and that's how my family found out.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, tell me about being in the hospital. Did you immediately go into surgery? What all did they fix?
I had to
starting out?
have extensive surgeries.
Okay.
I had
Several, I'm sure.
I had to have several blood transfusions. I went into surgery and out and back in. I lost my right kidney, and they had to go back in and remove it. They tried to save it. And they had to remove part of my stomach and part of my small intestine and part of my bladder. And I had to have surgery on my arm and extensive surgery on my hand as well. And I was really fit at the time, so I was really lucky. I have another friend who was shot in the abdomen, and they typically have to leave you open to heal, but they were able to close me up immediately.
Okay. Wow, because you were healthy and in good shape.
Taking care of myself, and so I really reiterate that as much as I can possible, like how important it is to take care of yourself.
So how long were you in the hospital?
So I was at Northwest for approximately a month, and then I was flown through air ambulance to Craig Hospital in Inglewood, Colorado.
In Colorado, okay. How long did you stay there?
So I actually had 2 stays there as well. Because of the extensive injuries in my hand and arm, I was essentially a quadriplegic for the first 8 months of my injury. And I was in a power chair and had to be taken care of extensively. Every single task had to be done for me. And I did what I could do while I was there, but a lot of what you're learning in occupational therapy and physical therapy are things like transfers, and I couldn't bear any weight on either one of these hands or arms great, so I had to go back home. I had 2 options. I could go home and heal or go to a nursing home for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, and so my family brought me home.
And they helped you through everything.
And then I went back to Craig Hospital and was there for about another 8 weeks.
Wow, that's a lot of time in the hospital.
Yeah.
So tell me about your mental health at that time. And then we'll kind of get into, where you're at today. That had to have been a pretty dark time.
At the time,
Or does survival mode kick in?
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with that, and I don't know, I am a fighter, and I didn't understand the severity of it either for many, many, many months, and I almost expected I would just get back to normal at some point.
Right, you still had hope, and I'm sure still have hope today. Look at you today.
My hope is different these days. Like, I really could care less to ever walk again, and that was a goal of mine once upon a time. I did the gating program at Craig, and I have CAFOs, and I did walk across the stage when I graduated, and it is just not something that burdens me anymore. I've done a lot on 4 wheels, more so than people have ever done on 2 legs. And
that's absolutely true. Absolutely. I was going to ask you a question. It just left me. What's gating?
Walking. It's a walking program.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
you go, and the CAFOs are braces for your legs.
Okay.
And I, went around campus on crutches and using walkers and just different exercises to be able to improve your mobility. And at the time, it was more of a functionality aspect to bring into using it in my everyday life. And it is just so much more exhausting
I know.
walking than
Yeah.
actually just rolling around.
Yeah.
And it's time consuming and awkward, and I could keep going.
I know. I know. So how has your life changed since then? And then we've kind of got into that, and I want to get into where you are today. Tell me what all you've done in the last 13 years. I know it's been a lot.
I don't know if we have enough time.
I know. I know it's been a lot. Do you want to talk about your mental health during this whole time? I'm a huge mental health advocate.
Well, I avoided it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's only
Yeah.
been within the past 5 years that I have even dealt with or approached it in a healthy way, or even accepted some of my diagnoses. And I quit drinking in 2020, and that was like a path onto healing and growth. And
Very proud of you.
thank you.
Very
It's
proud.
the hardest thing I've ever done.
It is the hardest thing, and it's a lonely path. So,
To say the least, for sure.
I get it, because drinking is social, and yeah.
Oh,
so
but
I
also,
get
like,
it.
you're widely accepted, in the disabled community, particularly when you're out partying and getting faded with everybody. Like, there's so much camaraderie, and everyone wants to hang out with you and buy you a shot. And, I'm not unfortunate looking. So it was easy for people to just buy me drinks and get consumed in that. And I was also in the bar industry for a long time, and I worked in the bars post-injury also. I worked at a local bar doing the beer tub, and then I worked the door at a gentleman's club here. And so that was just a perfect cocktail for hedonism and debauchery and all the things.
Disaster.
Which I was good without those things. But
yeah. Well, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
That is incredibly hard.
Thank you.
Good for you. Good for you. And I know it's hard to be intentional with your healing, because it's easier just to shove it down and push it to the side, and we can tell ourselves we're healed all day long up here, but we're really not. You have to be intentional with your healing every single day. So what are some things that you do that have helped you heal that?
So I'm not a very traditional person, but I do believe the importance of incorporating traditional and non-traditional methods in your healing. For me, I, of course, got sober first, and I had to sit with myself, and having to feel your feelings and not avoid them was the challenging part. And I started painting and creating, and I had a pretty successful stint, about 8 months. I sent out hundreds of paintings. I had a lot of support in the disabled community online, and a lot of people that purchased my paintings were fellow wheelchair users. And I have stuff in 30-something states now. That's awesome. So I was preoccupied. That's actually one of mine too. I was watching the videos like, oh my gosh, it looks bad. That was the beginning of my art escapade, so I'm going to have to redo that. I still love it, but
redo it, put out another one over here.
Exactly. And I decided to pursue my undergraduate degree, and so I got into WT, and I really immersed myself in the land of academia, and counseling services was a part of tuition, and so I started taking advantage of that once a month at the minimum.
There at the college? Okay, yeah.
And I had a great counselor, and I know I was very entertaining for her. We often talked about, I don't talk to other patients the way we talk with each other, so it was,
And that's good when you have a good connection with someone.
But
Otherwise,
you're-
you're not going to open up, and yeah.
but
So
you're also like, oh, even my therapist is like, ooh.
oh, my
So-
therapist knows all about me.
And I got really into the agronomy club and participating in school activities. I went to the SACES convention 2 years in a row, and I was really into soil science and morphology, and my passion were definitely the soil sciences. My degree plan was plant and soil and environmental science, and I just absolutely fell in love with agronomy.
Yeah.
And I actually won a really prestigious award for WT the first time in the 17-year history of the competition. And I won because of including disability in the world of agriculture.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool.
So did you get your degree in that?
I did. I graduated in May of 2023, and I actually got to stay on and participate in undergraduate research. I was a student in the microbiology department, and I got to participate in several projects, and I got to lead one. We did the I always have a hard time saying this,
Tongue twister.
physiochemical characteristics of the microbiome in Lake Meredith, and we tested the antibiotic resistance, and it just was a really neat experience.
Cool. That's
And
very interesting.
I had an amazing mentor and instructor, and she just allowed me to be myself entirely and made any kind of accommodations that I needed. And she's an incredible woman and changed my life in a positive way.
Everybody needs that.
Everyone needs
that
Dr.
one.
Mukherjee.
Everybody needs that one person. So, was the school accessible, handicap accessible, or did you find it kind of frustrating in some?
I'm an advocate,
ways?
so I always
I was gonna
addressed
say,
anything.
If anything was, lacking or whatever, did you address it with them? Because I think sometimes it could be better.
Yes, and I'm very aggressive, and I can be confrontational, which isn't always the best way to approach those situations. But there was a student that was a double amputee, and their dog was even an amputee, a little tripod. She didn't have her front leg. And whenever there's a group of apartments, I won't name them maybe, but in Canyon that's right there on campus, and they had him on the second floor being a wheelchair user, and it was HUD housing, and they were living in that kind of situation. And then I got connected with them, and the apartment they were in needed a ramp very badly, and they had to get out of their wheelchair just to get up into their house, and it was challenging for their dog as well. And so I advocated to get a ramp installed, and they did do that.
Oh, good.
And so even not on campus, I
Well,
was
you're good.
addressing
You're a
those
good
kinds of
advocate.
things.
Well, sometimes you just have to, because people can't advocate for themselves sometimes,
And people are dismissive.
Yeah.
And a lot of individuals don't anticipating my bark back. And that has been really important for my advocacy work. And I've gone back and forth. I love taking classes and just learning in general. And I've learned that is a big part of cultivating my own mental health and wellness, is learning and growing and seeing life through a different lens. And even when I finished my undergraduate degree, I continued I'm learning Spanish, and I'm taught myself sign language, and I'm just trying to. Thank you. I really want to make people feel included. I say advocacy, but I prefer the terminology inclusivity advocate, because it's not just mobility issues I want to nurture. And I think that has been a big part of my recovery personally, and my wellness is learning. I got obsessed with Jungian psychology and shadow work and individuation. And I have read so many books. I do more audiobooks. I like to listen, but just absorbing the world has been beneficial for my healing journey.
Yeah. And I know it's always a journey. It's not like you heal and then, okay, we're done healing. It's always a journey. So do you go to the gym now? And tell me what you do working out and stuff at the gym.
So I do. I go to the gym several days a week, and I'm active in general. I do a lot of service work, and I'm just very heavily involved in the community. And I did decide to go back to school and get another degree.
You did?
And so I will graduate in May with a psychology degree.
That's great. What do you want to do with that?
I want to get into substance abuse and recovery sciences.
I think that would be incredible. I think you'd be very good at that.
Thank you. I have a
Yeah.
lot of experience on both sides, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that you have to have been there, done that, been around it to be a really good therapist. I really do.
Thank you.
We've got to have lived experience.
Well, and I have participated in meetings and such at places like Synacor.
Yes.
Whenever you talk to somebody that's going through it, I've had several people say, I would much rather hear about this from someone like you than a suit that's never experienced it.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me. I've had several people divulge that it was really surprising that they learned more from a fellow addict than a preacher or a teacher or a mentor. And I'm like, well, I am those things, but I'm also an addict. So it makes it special and unique.
I did think so too, and the lived experience. And, I'm a suicide loss advocate, and so I go on suicide calls, and I've been there, I've done that. So I know how it feels, and I kind of know how it goes.
There's such a fine line between sympathy and empathy, and it really does make a difference for somebody to understand where you've been, at least in my experience. Somebody can feel for you all they want, but unless they've really been there and understand, it's not as powerful, at least in my experience.
I agree. Whereas, you're not there to preach. You're there just to listen and say, hey, what can I do for you? I've been there, I've done that. What can I do?
Holding space for somebody is so special.
And it might be something simple. Something very simple. So I get that. So I'm super proud of you. Okay, so we're going to kind of backtrack just a little bit. Sorry. Just because
we're going to be jumping around, I'm sure.
Just because this is the first time I've heard your story as well. So, okay, back to, was justice ever served? And if that's something you don't want to talk about, we do not have to at all. Was justice ever served?
Justice was served karmically, but not judiciously.
Okay, so I didn't know that if he was ever arrested or anything like that. So.
No, he claimed self-defense, but he committed suicide a little over a year ago to avoid prison time from an incident in 2023. He tried to kill his best friend and his dog with a samurai sword.
Oh.
And so he was going to go to prison for that, is my understanding, and so he took his own life.
Oh, wow. Did you ever have any contact with him after that?
He texted me one time when I was in the hospital in rehabilitation, about 6 weeks after he tried to kill me, and he said, you should be here. And I still don't know what that means. Like, I have a lot of speculation, but I screenshot it and sent it to my lawyer, and we had a toxic dynamic, and I never could leave, and that was finally my first time to stand up for myself, metaphorically speaking, of course. But
so that closed that door.
And his death was not hard to deal with. It was other people's responses and reactions. I didn't realize how many people still were in contact and connected with him. He was gone for many, many years, and he relocated back here to Amarillo in 2022. So he was here like 2.5 years, and I never saw him. And he was a tattoo artist. And so,
Amarillo's pretty small, whether you
But for
think
that
or
is
not.
kind of
Yeah,
crazy. I
yeah.
feel like I was divinely protected.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, sorry. I just kind of
No,
wanted
don't be
to
sorry. Go
get
ahead.
that in just for my own. I didn't know, and I just. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about One Chair at a Time. How did you get involved with One Chair at a Time?
I started playing basketball
Okay.
with Joe Chris and the group. We were at the MAC. This was probably in like 2015 was the first time.
So quite a while.
And Danny had gotten a standing frame for me at the time, and he's who introduced me and brought me into the group.
Perfect. So, what all sports have you done with One Chair at a Time?
I've done hand cycling and basketball and skeet shooting.
I love the skeet shooting. I was there this last time. I don't think that you were there. You may.
I
have
left
already,
early. It was my
I was
niece's
gonna say
birthday
you may have
party.
already gone, and Justin and I came up there. I loved it. It was pretty cool. So, what about the One Chair at a Time community? How has that helped you? Just knowing that you can talk to like-minded people or like-minded individuals, and how's that community been? I think community is such a huge part of healing. Knowing that you're all alone, I think we like to isolate sometimes, and community is a part of healing. But tell me your thoughts.
I mean, that's basically me in a nutshell. I just saw a need and I love the community. I got to participate at the Abilities Expo, which is an adaptive convention. In 2022, I went with Live to Roll, and I got to see how the community was in Houston. And we've been talking about this for a long time. You know, Joe Chris has worked with the youth of the Texas Panhandle for a very long time, but we've been wanting a group for a very long time for the adults too. And it was just last year that we've kind of gotten everyone together, and it was our first time to all go compete in the Endeavor Games. And that for me too was an amazing experience, getting to see all the different adaptive athletes and getting to participate and training for months on end and accomplishing a goal.
Yeah,
It's so fulfilling.
it is. It is. That's so cool. I really want to go watch it. So, what did you participate in at the
Hand
Endeavor
cycling.
Games?
I did
You
the
did.
15K.
Okay.
I got gold.
Girl,
So I don't know if I want to do it ever again.
15K. Oh, that makes me tired. Wow. So, how long did you train before that?
About 6 months, Courtney and I did it together.
Wow.
And we were already working out together.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it was an easy transition for us.
Yeah.
It definitely was challenging, but not as much as it could have been.
Yeah.
And I perform at tattoo conventions. I do human body suspension. And
Okay.
so it's important for me to stay fit in order to participate in that, which is also one of the very unconventional things that I do to help my mental health.
For your healing, yeah, and mental health. So, explain what that is. I mean, because I've only seen it, but does it hurt?
Well, pain is part of it, and that's the cathartic aspect to human body suspension, at least to me. You essentially hang from the ceiling by piercings or hooks, or a Gilson or black sheep hooks. Like, there's several different mythologies, but you are suspended by piercings.
Yeah.
And I've done it
Fascinating.
5 times, so it's...
Fascinating.
I could go on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to reel it in because I will just go off about suspension.
So that's one of your passions.
Absolutely. It changed my life in such a profound way.
Yeah.
And I had spoken of my abuser coming back to Amarillo. The first time that I learned of him being back locally, I was actually on my way to Oklahoma City to do my very first performance. And I was obviously devastated to learn just the thought of ever having to see him clearly bothered me. And there was something amazing in all of that pain and that transition. When I went up, I just let go of everything I had left, and it didn't matter anymore. and he didn't have any power over me anymore. And there was just so much freedom. And if I can do this, I can do anything, is how that made me feel.
I love that. I love that analogy. Wow. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Tell me what Bentley wants to be doing in 5 years.
I'm just day to day.
Yeah.
I really didn't anticipate ever being this far in my life. I've had a heart condition since I was 11 months old. On top of that, all the things I've been through. I've had a pacemaker since I was 8 years old.
I had a pacemaker too.
Paceys.
Yeah.
I think that's what saved me when I got shot, because even when my body didn't have enough blood, my heart kept
Pacemaker
pumping.
kicked in. Mm-hmm.
And so
That's interesting.
my mom and I truly believe
That's probably
that.
why you didn't lose consciousness. Wow, that is very interesting. So you're just day to day, but you do want to do therapy, counseling, maybe someday soon? When you
I don't
graduate?
know what my path will be. I am clearly not a conventional person. I'm not a typical person, and I think it's going to take a very special, unique circumstance to be the right fit for me. And I just want to learn and love and continue to grow and grab all these different skills. And I think that whenever that opportunity does present itself, I will be ready.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But I don't really care what happens in the next 5 years. I'm so happy and I'm so whole in this moment, and my cup is full, and so everything I participate is with intention, and I'm very responsible with my time and my energy and my efforts, and I know whatever I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing, so I don't care what happens, because it comes, the rule of abundance.
Yep. Oh, that makes me happy. I love that. You're happy and your cup is full. Okay, so I'm asking everybody this question. If you can describe Joe Chris in one word, what would it be?
I thought a lot, and I had a lot of different answers for this, but ultimately, he's our homie.
Yeah.
He takes care of all of us. He has a very special relationship and connection with each and every single one of his athletes. He is the glue to our group. He is our connection with all of that, and he pushes us to be better, and he is just the most wonderful friend. It's the best way I can describe it.
I love it. I love when everybody describes him, because it just makes my heart happy. He's a good man. He's a good man. So thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want to share with us?
Just do good and be good and find what fits for you. If you're in a chair, it doesn't stop what you're capable of doing. You just may do it in a different way. And you can still be and do incredible things regardless of your limitations. And the sky is truly the limit.
I love the part where you said you've done more in a chair than people that can walk.
It exhausts people often.
Yeah. But I love that, because you could do anything you set your mind to once you get past that shock and that hump.
I never had that.
Yeah.
I never had that wall of limitation.
That's
And
good.
I will say that I'm a very brave person, and that has stayed with me through the entire duration of my recovery, not only from substance abuse issues, but from my physical issues. I know what it's like to have a broken body, and I also know what it's like to have a broken brain, and your body will naturally heal itself. It will, I've lived that, but you have to take an initiative and work every single day to fix your broken brain. And I would much rather have a broken body than a broken brain any day.
Yeah.
And if I can navigate the world in this way, the way that I have, there's no reason anybody else can't.
Yeah. I always say when people go into survival mode, that's not something to shame ourselves about, because our bodies are designed for that. to survive.
I'll still shame myself,
And
but I know
but
I'm not
you know,
supposed to.
we got to give ourselves a little bit of grace. I know, I know all that self-talk. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Joe Chris here with One Chair at a Time. Back to continue our story time about our program, our adults and our kids in our program. So today, Bentli, Carolyn went. I call her Carolyn. She goes by Bentli Blaze on social media. She did her story today. I haven't got to see it, but I just want to tell you a little, guys, about my kind of coming across paths with her and her being in our program. I met her a couple years after we had started the nonprofit. A little bit after she got injured, I think one of our board members kind of introduced us and got her to come to Wheelchair Madness, if I'm correct. My memory is very garbage, so some of the things are kind of spaced out. The things I was most about Bentley is Bentley's very outgoing. She's very she's not afraid to try new things. Some of the things that most of our adults and our kids in our program are like, no, I wouldn't do that. It never amazes me when she always comes up. She goes, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy, right? And ever since she kind of been a part of our program, she's been really involved. And then as the last couple years that went by, she's really been involved with our adult program. Really helped getting it going, like all the adults committing and coming to our adult meeting and hanging out. And last year I was very proud of her. I talked her and Courtney into getting on a hand cycle and going to one of our Paralympic style meets that we do. We always go to Endeavor Games. We take our team. You'll keep hearing these same kind of meets that we go to. So it was Endeavor Games in Edmond, Oklahoma, and I convinced her and Courtney to go as adults. This was the first year, this past year, that we took adults that didn't start as kids, that were adults, that got injured and then came to be a part of the program. Started out with hand cycling. They did a 10-mile bike ride. And these two young ladies, they trained and trained and trained up to the point where it's probably about 2 weeks before. Took them out to Canyon, up the access road up in Canyon, Texas, up by the Alsups. And we rode 5 miles that way south and then 5 miles north because I wanted to see if they could do it on their own and make sure they were good before we went to Edmond. And they knocked it out the park. They went down to Edmond and they competed with all the other adults and the kids in the hand cycling race. I want to say it was a 12-mile bike ride, 10 or 12-mile bike ride. So I was very proud of them. Like I said, that was the first time for us to have adults. Courtney, Bentley, and Demetrius who went as adults. And of course Jackson, but Jackson was a kid and then transitioned to adult in our program. So same as ever that have done that. So they're some of our first. But like I said, very proud of Bentley. She's always accomplishing her goals. Always out doing things. I think she's graduated from WT a couple times. I think she may have a couple of degrees. So it's always great to have her involved and helping our community as we kind of continue to grow this thing. So that's a little bit all that I have to say about Bentley, because I could go on for a long time like the rest of these adults. It's always great to have because we have so many different personalities in this group. As you guys are starting to see, we're trying to do these every Tuesday, but you got to bear with us. Kids and adults, and you can kind of notice it's just a mixture of very different personalities, and it's great that we can all get together and we all get along so well, and we're all here for one purpose, and that's here to grow the disabled community and to grow it in the right way, to grow to help each other when we need each other and things like that. So I just want to say thank y'all. Stay tuned. We'll be on next Tuesday to have another one, and that's about it.